always wanted to be a freestyle skier. I would look up to great professionals like Alex Hall, who could do all sorts of neat tricks, and I wanted to be just like him. That is when my vision of doing a front flip on skis came into the picture. And the reason I'm here today is to show you how to complete this cool task. Doing a front flip on skis has raised my confidence, and I believe it can raise yours too. It is a skill that not only takes a lot of practice, but a lot of time and effort. And if you get really good, you could even join freestyle competitions like this one. Now, doing a front flip is cool and all, but there's a lot of steps and procedures that go into the whole process, like the equipment you need. So let's start with the basics. Snow pants? Check. Jacket? Check. Ski mask? Check. Helmet and goggles? Check. And check. Gloves? Check. Now for the main event. Ski boots? Check. And finally, the most important part, skis. Alright, now that we have all the equipment we need, let's go over some details before we go out on the slopes. When we look at our skis, we want to make sure our skis are somewhat bendy. This detail comes into play later when we're about to land the front flip, but we're not there yet. Another tip, preferably you should have twin tips, meaning both sides of the skis are essentially the same. This will also come into play when landing a front flip. Oh, and another big detail, your DIN. Now, DIN is very important on your skis. It's the number that shows you how tight your ski boots are when clicking into your skis. If you're new to skiing, your DIN on your ski will be low. And that's because if you fall, your boot needs to come out. If you're more advanced at skiing, your DIN will be higher, meaning the ski boot will be harder to pop out because, well, you know your limits. Okay, now that you know more about skis, get out on the slopes and check out the snow. Alright, now that we're out here, let's turn around and check out the snow. Okay, snow is very important when doing a front flip because we need to check it. We need to check the levels and the consistency. If the snow is too slushy like this, we're gonna have a hard time because it's gonna make us slow down when we're going down the run-up. And if the snow is too powdery like this, we're also gonna have a hard time because we're not gonna get enough speed to go over the jump. Whether it's at a ski mountain or just in your backyard, you always wanna make sure you're keeping up with how the snow looks and how the weather is. If you're doing a front flip at a mountain, you can check this information by looking at the mountain's app. Oh, another important fact. Make sure you always have a friend by your side to watch you in case you fall or get hurt. That reminds me, make sure you always have access to ski patrol, med kits, or an ambulance. And it's very important you know your limits. If you push too hard, you're gonna outdo yourself, and you may get hurt in the process. Now, one of the most important parts of doing a front flip is the helmet. The helmet is the most important part because it protects the most important part of your body, your head. Now, some people choose not to wear helmets, but I think it's a very unsafe decision, especially when you're first learning.
This is just one example of what could happen if you do not wear a helmet.
So, we have the safety procedures, the equipment, the snow. Now, let's check out the steps in order to land this front flip. Now wait. Before you just send a front flip, you need some experience. To do this, practice swinging your arms down very hard to get that motion of the spin and the rotation. Once you've completed this step, practice tucking your arms into your legs fast with a lot of force. This will be applied to when you actually go over the jump. Practicing a front flip on a trampoline or into a pool is the first way to get the motion of the spin down. Now let's go learn how to do a front flip on a trampoline first. As we can see, my arms are above my head. This is going to give me a lot of rotation. The next thing you want to do is throw your arms into your legs and tuck. This will automatically cause you to rotate forward. To land, untuck from your legs and make sure to put a lot of pressure in your legs to stick it. When you land, make sure to bend your knees. This will prevent injuries. Once you can land on a trampoline or off a trampoline, practice on flat ground or a hill. If you can do this, you're ready to go. If you just send a front flip on skis without the proper experience, you could get extremely injured. And we don't want that. Okay, on to step 2. You're going to want to find a
large drop-in,
like the one on the screen, preferably a pretty vertical drop-in. This will give you enough speed to hit the jump.
If you're at a ski mountain, you want to look for a drop like that. Usually, ski mountain drops have enough speed and are designed for you to go over the jump and land in the correct spot. The third step is getting those muscles moving. Stretching before a front flip is very important because it helps loosen your joints. And you're about to complete a difficult task.
Okay, so now you know how to practice on a trampoline, what to look for in a perfect drop-in, and the proper way to stretch before setting a front flip. So now it's time to hit the slopes. Step 4. Find the jump. Jumps come in many different sizes and they can be homemade. It is extremely important that your jump is at least 3 feet high. And make sure you've practiced your jump before you just send a front flip. So now we're on to step 5. Going down the drop-in. Going down the drop-in is extremely important because you need to get enough speed to go over the jump. Something to keep in mind is pumping the drop-in. Pumping the drop-in is the process of tucking and jumping on the drop to get maximum speed. And finally, that brings us to step 6, executing the front flip. When you're coming down, you want to have your arms over your head at least 10 feet before the jump. Next, when you're at the top of the jump, tuck your arms into your legs extremely fast. This will cause you to rotate, and you do not need to jump. When you can see the other side, make sure to untuck your arms and plant your feet flat. You can also use your hands as support when landing. Here's one example of an improper way to send a front flip. We can see the individual did not tuck his arms into his legs. He also did not get enough speed on the run-up. Okay, so now you know all the proper ways to land a front flip. Doing a front flip not only helps you get better at freestyle skiing, but it helps you overcome fears and fears of brave tasks. To be honest, it's a goal I never thought I'd complete. And if my younger self saw what I was doing on skis right now, he'd be pretty shocked. But this isn't just about a front flip. Even if you do not choose to do a front flip, learning and consistently practicing any goal is really the only way to achieve it. Goals aren't meant to be easy. They come with discipline, perseverance, and in some cases, pain. But if you give it time, you work hard, you don't give up, your dreams and goals will be set. I can guarantee that. So, thank you.